Yo, welcome back to another match. On the play, we have a pretty unexciting hand. Can't turn on the Mox Opal, so we're going to start with a Mull. Not great either. Um, the workshop is not going to be able to have Metalcraft given the contents of the hand, so it's not got much in the way of fast mana. I think I'll Mull this as well. Pretty bad. Let's pray for a broken 4. Mm, still not great, but we'll have to run with it. Um, we're just going to have to try and lean on the power of Chalice, hope that Chalice on 1 is effective. So we'll probably keep dropping Stone Coil and Golos for sure. Probably just the Mystic Void as well. And just pray for the best. I've got the new mic set up, so let me know if it's sounding noticeably different, any better, any worse. Happy to hear any feedback in the comments about sound quality, and yeah, hopefully it's an improvement. I'm still playing around with the settings a little bit, so we'll see where we end up. Might be playing against myself here. Yep. That's not good news that they kept... they went to 5 as well, so it's going to be a low resource game. But they don't have a 1-drop, so this Chalice on potentially 1 is not going to really do a lot. Given that, I guess I'll just play Mindstone and settle in for what might be quite an anemic game. The bots deck mulligans a lot, but generally if you mulligan to 5, it's because you found something good. It's not often you need to go all the way to 4 and still be stuck with a bunch of ordinary cards. Don't think I saw any points in the 4 hands that we've seen, which is not a good place to be, but you live by the bots, you die by the bots. Okay, they did keep the hand based on the synergy between Tower and Nexus. They got 4 mana, they are loadstoning. Not a big deal, really. Got my own tower. Just run this guy out. Maybe just play Chalice on 0? I'll play it on 0. It's more likely to have an effect if they draw their baubles or their dual amulets. We've already spent 2 of our 0s, so seems fine. They're not going to really have many 1-drops. I think I'm okay with this. Pretty marginal either way. Chalice is definitely not a good card for the matchup. Very happily take a trade with the Lodestone given the chance to, but we'll see if that opportunity arises or not. Feeling very unfavoured now that we're up to 6 mana on turn 3, 4 cards in hand, and we've got pretty much 1 blocker to our name. And 2 blockers, I guess, but anything meaningful here, like a goal loss, would be... I guess the Forsaken Monument we know about is still kind of brutal. Make this a 7-5, which means no good blocks. Yeah, we'll take it. We need to find a Nexus of our own or Tolarian to kind of get a mana advantage, and then we'll probably need to find some gas to actually get ahead on board, but oh damn. Chalice on 1 could have been good. Yeah, we're very far behind it. These kind of matchups are just pretty much who can accumulate the most mana and the most power and toughness as quick as possible. There's not a lot of interaction, generally speaking, so... Oh, nice, my Chalice on 0 really paying off. Yeah, you're just trying to put the most mana value of things on the stack, and that generally means you're the winner. And I'm not doing a very good job of that, so I'm the loser. We've nearly found Tron, but I don't think it's going to make much of a difference. They have a Squillion mana, 10 plus at this point. I'm just going to chomp. Might even chomp with the Night Scythe. Given how little we've got going on, at least getting this block in now means we've got a block next turn. Hoping their hand is just lands, but yeah, any X-Spell will put us in game 2. Most 4-drops will kill us. Yeah, not very helpful. Yep, Khan's going to pump out a lot of big dudes. The map's probably going to go get Saga as well, so they're going to be making constructs. 1 construct this turn, probably 2 constructs next turn. Another construct the following turn. I can't beat this one, let alone beat the next 3. So we'll take our next draw step, but I'll probably concede. Unless it's something insane. That is a little bit insane. Does let me... I'm going to flicker the token to kill it. Double shock the lodestone, so that'll kill the board, and then I can attack the Khan for 2. That's not terrible. Oh no, it's actually getting taxed by the lodestone. I forgot about that. I can't play my Mox Opal. No, we'll wrap this one up. They're just going to map end a turn for Saga, I would have assumed. Yeah. I'm not going to try and win one that's almost unwinnable given their resources versus ours. Right, in this matchup, we have a lot of cards that are good against most of the field, but pretty bad against ourselves. So Relic's pretty bad. Transpider's bad because they get a token as well. Lodestone's pretty ordinary. Devourer is got 0 targets. Pretty much same for Sundering Titan. Chalice is bad. There's a lot of other medium ones, but these are the real stinkers you need to get out of the deck if you can. Bring in a land. On the play, the baubles aren't bad because they have... You can play your zeros and then play the bauble, and they can't play theirs, so that's not terrible. It's pretty slim pickings, I won't lie. Sometimes you just keep Lodestone in because it has power and toughness. A bit desperate, but the bot deck's not that big of a deck, so you don't see the mirror very often. What else do we want? Maybe we still play the Devourer just to... just for the reveal trigger, and sometimes it does kill, like, tokens. A lot of the tokens that are in the deck are coloured, so it does have some text. It's where most of my sideboard has close to no text. Warping Whale does have text. Contortion's playable. Well, I guess Contortion's a respectable card. Warping Whale's pretty bad. I'll play Devourer. Relic at least cycles and then lodestone attacks. That'll have to do. Colourless isn't very good at like killing itself. There's not really much in the way of colourless cards that are good against other colourless decks. So yeah, you gotta resort to stuff like Spatial Contortion, but that's right. The good news is that they're thinking the same thing, so that's what it is. Got a nice 7 with a Sol Ring. Praying it doesn't get misstepped, as all Sol Ring gamers do. My opponent's gone to 5. Thinking about the 5. For me, I'm planning to go Ring Mindstone map. Okay, they've kept the 5. See if the ring gets there. Okay, should be pretty smooth sailing. With them on 5, our start's pretty explosive, but you never really know in this matchup. They could just play Workshop, Metalworker, and kill me on turn 2. It's half the fun of the matchup. It's almost like you're just goldfishing, like just trying to do the most objectively powerful thing. You get to Zero Lander? Respect. Oh, okay. They F6 their turn. That was not like a Zero Lander with a Sol Ring that you might actually justify keeping. One of the joys of Moto is accidentally skipping your first turn. Does it Workshop? No, they've got Thran Spider. Very kind of them. Thank you for the Power Stone. Given this, I think I'll go get Stellarian. We're going to have a lot of gas with the scrolling crawler. 2 cards a turn coming off of this and a bit of gas in hand already, so should be able to kind of leverage the mana advantage pretty well. See what they're working with. Ugin's Lab, Dismember, Tolarian, Cave, Forsaken Monument, Cradle. Cool. Let's go play Tolarian, play Traxos, untap with Bauble. And I guess we're just going to max out this Stone Coil. 6, yeah, it's pretty good. 8 sounds good to me. Let's see what the next card is. Got all the information. Cool. Back to you. I think it's actually just my list from a recent event. I cut Monument recent. Oh yeah, it's probably my winning list from the Valtis Fight Night. I cut Monument recently, so they're probably looking at my list from a couple weeks ago. But everything else is a card that I play, so looks to be the case. True mirror match. Would have been. It's a bit of a shame that they skipped their first turn. They would have had turn 2 Monument. So this turn they would have been untapping with Monument. And I guess they wouldn't have actually had a whole lot to do. They could spin the Spider, but they don't have any clear big payoff at their disposal. How much power have I got? I have a lot. 15. I think if I just attack with everything, I'll do this now to put them to 16. Oh, okay. That's going to make any kind of math I was about to do, I'm no longer going to do. I'm just going to place this. Equip to one of my big trampoline boys. And we'll go to game 3. So 22 trampling power against their 6. So that's lethal already. Oh. Yeah, even had they untapped, they would have had the dismember, which wouldn't have actually really affected the board there. That didn't actually kill anything. So I think we still would have had that one, but yeah, bit unfortunate. For game 3, on the draw, the Vexing Bauble looks a little worse. The rest of the sideboard still looks pretty bad. I might still run it just as a cantrip. A pretty bad cantrip at that, but a cantrip nonetheless. The alternative is the Warping Whale. Just to kill either a metal worker. Doesn't kill much. It really just kills like a metal worker and makes a Scion for 2 mana. I think a random cantrip is better than a 2 mana make a Scion. Okay, let's run it. Another Sol Ring opener. Pretty good hand, actually. Dismember early, Thought Knot turn 2 to back it up. Probe to know what we want to do with the Thought Knots. Happy with this hand. Let's see how my opponent mulligans. They keep 7 as well, so let's see who can go the craziest. I'll definitely lead on the Blast Zone. It's always good to hold Ugin's Lab as late as possible to potentially have something to pitch to it. Starting on tower, okay. Could be another Planar Nexus start. That's a good draw. Let's start with Probe. They show Forsaken Monument, Thought Knot, Crawler, Spider, Fleshraker, Ancient Tomb. Okay, a little bit different to my list. I don't have Tomb. My plan's still going to be pretty much the same. So we go Ring, Automaton, Bauble. I'll Bauble now, try and draw a misstep for them drawing maybe a Sol Ring or something. Nice, good draw. So I assume they would play the Fleshraker. It's kind of the best engine card. The best thing to get down first. It's either that or the spider. Don't think I play the crawler, but there's also an argument to play crawler to try and hit the next land drop a bit more consistently. Never mind, all three of those worse than Night Scythe apparently. Okay. I guess I'm not in a great rush to Thought Knot, just given that the hand's pretty much none of it's particularly exciting. I guess maybe I want to take their Thought Knot. It's probably worth doing. Potentially the Forsaken Monument's a bit scary as well because of the Fleshraker. But I can just dismember the Fleshraker. Let's play the Ugin's Lab. I'm half tempted just to play Metalworker plus Relic as well. It'll get the Patchwork up to 4, so I get an attack in this turn. And like, I guess worst case scenario, they Thought Knot me next turn, and then I just dismember the Thought Knot, untap with a handful of artifacts to reveal with the Metalworker, and a bit of gas to find with the Relic, so hopefully I find something big off of that. I think that's fine, actually. Let's yield to this guy. I'm guessing given that they've got the Ancient Tomb means that they've cut the Soul Ring, put in Ancient Tomb, Mana Vault, and maybe like the One Ring. A lot of people are... That's kind of like the big question with the most recent points update is what do you want to do with that? The extra point that they added to Tolarian, you still want to, generally speaking, play Tolarian, but the concession you need to make is cutting... Well, for me, it was cutting Mana Vault. So now the opportunity cost of keeping Soul Ring over Mana Vault, Ancient Tomb, One Ring is kind of high. As where before it was like the Soul Ring was kind of competing with Tomb, One Ring, and like Wasteland, which I wasn't too fussed about. So I'm a little bit scared that they're just gonna monument me. The hand is pretty good if they just draw like, I don't know, Ancient Tomb, play Monument, then they're just gonna kind of be able to go a bit crazy, so hopefully that's not the case. But I think that this is still the right play this turn to develop my board, get the attack in with the Patchwork, and then get the Metalworker down to kind of start gaining the mana advantage. If they just like tap out for a Fleshraker this turn, I'm feeling pretty great. Also, the aggro, the 4 damage off the Patchwork is pretty significant given that they're going to be tapping Ancient Tomb for the foreseeable future every turn. Danger Dismember? Okay, sure. Like now, the next time they tap Tomb, they're down to 8. They're probably taking this hit down to effectively 4. Yeah, it's... This is why I hate Ancient Tomb. It just ends up... You just end up dying to like 2 hits from a random creature. Because you do need to tap it every turn. It's not like in like a Moonshine or an Initiative variant. You tap the Tomb once and it's really impactful and it just like makes the whole game plan work. You just need to tap it every turn to like play your creatures, and it's a slippery slope because you just take 6, then 8, then 10, and before you know it, you're dead. Probably not even worse. Okay. I guess you don't actually have to pick the card when you only have one card in your graveyard with the relic. I guess I'm just casting Thought Knot and going about my day. We do know that whole hand, it's still this. Of these cards, honestly none of it's scary. I'm just gonna take the Monument. I think the potential for them to resolve Monument is the actual way that I end up losing this game. If they do it, then they can. Oh, actually, no. I guess if they just tap out for Monument, they do die. Yeah, they play a land, go to 4, and then either of these would kill him, and then they can only make one blocker. They did draw the City Traders I was talking about, but still only able to deploy one thing. And I'm happy to just dismember the Thought Knot if that's what they want to go for. I do. We end up in a very similar spot where they have one blocker, 4 life, and I've got 2 4/4s. They get to Thought Knot my thing, but the game is over. Like, we're pretty behind right now. Theoretically, if they had like another 6 life, I would say we're kind of behind. But because they've had to tap this Ancient Tomb 3 or 4 times now, we've actually won the game. If they were to untap and like play Fleshraker into Thran Spider, like we'd be kind of behind on board. We wouldn't actually be getting anywhere aggro-wise. But because they took 6 to 8 life, then yeah, we've just won this turn. Let's just cycle this. Sure. Like this. All right, let's finish this one up. Yeah, I guess also a big part of this game was they decided to play the Night Scythe on turn 2 instead of Fleshraker. Had they gone Fleshraker, they would have had 2 more Scions along the way. They would have been able to chump both of these this turn and like kind of put something together. So, I mean, I guess I would have dismembered it. It would have been a bit of a different game. But yeah, had I not had the dismember, I think they would have had a much better chance with the Fleshraker. Maybe they thought they could trade the Night Scythe for the Patchwork on that first turn, which is a fair point. If I didn't have double artifact, then that would have been the case. But as it sits, I did, and we were able to get ahead thanks to the pretty good aggro start and their Ancient Tomb hurting him a bit, and that was the match. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.